Good afternoon, this is the latest video update on Tropical Storm Haikui for the 5th of August 2012. The system is now moving across the Japanese islands, last located approximately 100 kilometers north of Okinawa, right near the island of Okinawa here, basically halfway between Okinawa and Tokunoshima, here in the Amami Islands. Maximum sustained winds are at 85 kph, so slightly increased with gusts of up to 120 according to JMA's latest analysis. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center, or the JTWC, have slightly higher winds, now putting Haikui at 100 kilometers per hour. The system currently is moving northwestward at 15 kilometers per hour. You can see in this latest visible image the system has improved quite a lot in the past 24 hours. The circulation is much more defined, especially the core of the system. As I said, moving across the Japanese islands. Stormy conditions continue to persist across the region, and infrared image also showing you the improvements. Convection now starting to fire up right over the center of the storm, but there is still some dry air trying to entrain and trying to wrap around this circulation, particularly along the eastern and northern half of the system. But we are seeing some improvements, and seeing more convection firing up across the southern and western parts of the system, basically right over the Okinawa and the nearby islands. Current warnings from JMA still have that storm warnings, along with other warnings here: flood, heavy rains, and high wave warnings, and other advisories such as gale advisories and thunderstorm advisories for the nearby islands. Cadena Air Base also issuing T-Core 1 now, so expecting destructive winds around 50 knots in the next hours, so we should be prepared now to ride out the storm. Latest radar image from JMA also showing the improved circulation, improved center. Based on the radar image, you can see here the center of the storm moving just north of Okinawa here. Bands of heavy rains continue to impact the islands, with rainfall rates around 10 to even 30 millimeters per hour, and some pockets of higher rainfall rates around 50 millimeters per hour. Rainfall reports across the region range from around 40 to 80 millimeters, so expect another 50 millimeters to fall tonight. And also those rains are accompanied by some strong gusty winds as well. Reports here range from around sustained winds of around 35 to 70 kilometers per hour, especially here near Naha Airport. Gusts of up to 90 kilometers per hour has also been recorded across the islands here in the Amami Islands. Expect those stormy conditions, those heavy rains and strong winds to linger throughout tonight and lasting into tomorrow. Remember, Haikui is forecast to slow down even more. It's now moving at 15 kilometers per hour, so quite a change from yesterday's movement around 30 kilometers per hour. But it is still forecast to continue bringing stormy conditions across the Japanese islands as it moves into the eastern China Sea. Probably not as heavy rains as before, but still some gusty winds and some rough waves across the region in the next 20 to 36 hours. But the forecast of the storm continues to take it into the eastern China Sea just south of Shanghai, but there is still some uncertainty. And just to give you an idea, we have here the ensemble forecast from the GFS model, just one model, but showing you the uncertainty still being put out by this computer models. You see this blue lines here just representing one single forecast, and basically much of the members of this ensemble forecast are taking Haikui towards eastern China, although some of the members are showing an abrupt turn to the east and perhaps make landfall towards Kyushu or southern Japan by the latter part of the week. There is still some uncertainty, but again, the consensus now among the computer models and even the forecasting agencies expecting Haikui to make landfall in the province of Zhejiang, just south of Shanghai, around 250 kilometers as early as Wednesday morning. Most agencies are also expecting Haikui to intensify to a minimal typhoon in the next 2 days as it moves slowly across the eastern China Sea. It is moving into favorable conditions. Weaker wind shear and also sea surface temperatures in this region are still favorable for continued development. But the general idea is now that the tropical storm Haikui could make landfall here in eastern China as early as Wednesday morning, but I wouldn't count out southern part of the Korean Peninsula, and even here in Japan. We're still seeing some shifts across the models, although not as wild as before. But yet, just continue to check out the developments of the system. Now, moving on to the other system we are watching, we have Tropical Depression 13W, which is now a tropical storm according to JTWC. JMA is still keeping it at tropical depression status. This system was last located approximately 630 kilometers northwest of Wake Island, this tiny dot here. So it is located in the middle of the Pacific. It is actually more than 2,000 kilometers from Japan. So not expecting to really directly impact any landmass in its lifetime. It is forecast to become a tropical storm by the JMA in the next 12 to 24 hours. Forecast tracks for the system take it to the north and eventually turn it into the west, but still too far from Japan to really impact the country. But we'll still continue to keep an update on this one. And just taking a look at the western Pacific again, showing you this is the location of Tropical Depression 13W. This is Haikui, and you can see the monsoon trough continues to be active north of the 20-degree north latitude. We are also seeing some showers and cloudiness forming here in the eastern part of the Philippines across the Philippine Sea. Some upper level divergence actually fueling this convection, but not expected to become a cyclone. We are seeing very little vorticity in this region. Very strong wind shear also in this part of the Pacific as the monsoon trough continues to remain in the northern part of the basin. So not very favorable for cyclone development. However, this area just south of Japan, we will continue to keep an eye on this one, because some models, particularly the CMC and even the Euro, is forecasting a possible weak cyclone development next weekend. And also we have here the continued southwest monsoon across the Philippines, particularly here in central Luzon. We are still seeing reports of heavy rains of near 100 millimeters, especially across Baguio and even here across the province of Zambales in the past 24 hours. So still some heavy rains here, not as widespread as in the past few days. The intensity is also decreased, but the monsoon can still enhance scattered thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. The rest of the Philippines, particularly here in Visayas and Mindanao, enjoying quite drier weather and relatively lesser rains, although again this convection can still enhance some showers, especially across eastern Visayas. But again, as I said, this area is not expected to become a cyclone at this time. Finally, we take a look at the Atlantic Basin and showing you two tropical storms now in this area. We have first you have Tropical Storm Ernesto just south of Hispaniola, moving west-northwestward, could move just south of Jamaica in about 2 days time. Still expected to become a hurricane despite the poor presentation on satellite. And also here we have Tropical Storm Florence west of the Cape Verde Islands, moving west-northwestward and not expected to impact any islands here in the Caribbean. For more updates on this system in the Atlantic, visit 28storms.com. They're also giving video updates there, just like this one, but much more concentrated in the Atlantic Basin. And that ends our update for today. Continue checking out JMA and Cadena Weather for the latest developments about Haikui across the Japanese islands. And also, if you are living in China, continue to monitor the developments of Haikui as it nears landfall in that region, particularly just south of Shanghai across Zhejiang Province, as Haikui is forecast to make landfall there in about 3 days time. Stay safe, guys. Bye.